What's up guys, it's Rogue here and welcome to another amazing video on the channel. This is just a quick clip before the actual video starts, reminding you that every month in 2024 we will be giving away something. This month in January we are giving away an entire Valiant Smashers booster box, so make sure that you do enter. Giveaway ends on the 29th, which I believe is a Monday, which will be the last upload of a month, and then I will announce the giveaway at the end of the month, so 2 days later. All you need to do to enter this month's giveaway is just comment down below in any one of the videos that are uploaded this month. There should be around 6 videos. Just comment down below what you are looking to pull from Valiant Smashers and you'll be entered into the giveaway. Thank you for watching and I hope you enjoy the video. What's up guys, it's Rogue here and welcome to a post-ban list updated Rescue Ace deck profile. Now I know what you're all thinking, Rescue Ace, surely, they're not as good anymore. But let me tell you, not much has changed, and I'll tell you why in the deck profile. Just make sure if you do enjoy this type of content, smash that like button. I hear if you smash it, it actually goes red. Also, leave a comment down below. It is part of our giveaway. I want to know what card from Valiant Smashers you want to pull if you do win the box. And without any further ado, let's get straight into this deck profile. So, it is 41 cards total. The reasoning for that is because I will tell you at the end, so you're going to have to stick around and find out. But for the Rescue Ace package, 2 hydrants, simple stuff. You can special him out the deck now, since we had the Sinful Spoil stuff for a while. We don't need 3. He was not the best normal summon when Airlift was at 3. Now that Airlift is at 1, he still isn't the best normal summon. However, you're not going to be seeing Airlift as much in your hand anymore, sadly. But we still only need 2. 2 is perfectly fine. Hydrant is the heart and soul of the deck. Adds you, so you're going to summon him from deck, add Airlifter, normal Airlifter, doesn't matter that he's at 1 or 3, we're going to be adding him and normaling him immediately afterwards. For the big boys, double Rescue Ace Turbulence, all the ratios pretty much stayed the same, obviously the Airlifter dropped, but just in case you're new to this deck profile or new to the deck in general, I know it just got reprinted in Maze of Millennia, so maybe a lot of new people are picking up the deck and they want to learn what the cards do. Most important card of the deck is Turbulence. You're going to summon him either via the spell card, which is going to summon him out the deck, or you're going to summon him using his own effect, which is banishing 2 Rescue Ace cards from the graveyard, summons himself, uses effect, sets 4 back row from the deck to the field. Can't even be Ash because it just sets it, obviously with different names. And if one of your cards leaves because of your opponent's card effect, he gets to destroy 1 card in the field. So pretty cool card. A lot of your opponent's interruption and negation will be focused on him. Just keep that in mind, so you need to have ways to work around that. For another really good addition, we got this card a while ago now. We got this card in Dune, but it was a very, very good addition. Rescue Ace Preventer. He is a Book of Moon every single turn as long as you have another Rescue Ace. If you don't have a Rescue Ace on the field, he is a vanilla monster. When he goes to the graveyard, he's going to be able to revive 1 of the banished Rescue Ace monsters back to the field. How are we doing that apart from Turbulence? Well, to summon himself from the hand, you can banish 1 Rescue Ace card from the grave. So it brings back the material used from the graveyard to summon himself, and obviously if we can bring back a monster. So if you do a spell and there's nothing else in your banish pile, you're not going to be able to bring back a monster, which is typically why you want to be banishing monsters to summon this guy. For other one-offs, 1 Rescue Ace Fire Engine with the 1 Rescue Ace Impulse. I still like this package. I see a lot of people dropping it out completely. I understand that, I really do. But I think Impulse into Fire Engine into Airlifter is also another cool way of getting your engine started. And since Airlifter's at 1, I feel like seeing more potential ways of getting to your Airlifter is still good. And we also have, of course, the 1 Airlifter. Sadly, he's gone from 3 to 1. If you don't know what he does, on normal or special, he's going to add you a Rescue Ace spell from deck to your hand. Even if they don't have Rescue Ace in the name, stuff like Emergency, Alert, and Rescue can be added because they are always treated as Rescue Ace cards. So he is pretty much the 1 card combo into your Turbulence set 4, and the reason why they hit him to hit consistency. But obviously, I figured out a way in this build, I'm sure a lot of people have, to sort of mitigate the consistency loss, I guess is a good way of putting it. For the spell cards, Triple Emergency, amazing. I didn't think they could give such a good card as support, but they did. If you don't know what it does, it's on a quick effect, by the way. Special summon a Rescue Ace monster from your deck. In defense, which is kind of annoying when you're trying to go for a game. Tribute 1 Rescue Ace monster from the field as well. It's all 1 effect. So you summon and then get rid of 1. It's really cool if you normal summon Airlifter, They try and hit you with an imperm, with a Veiler, anything that targets and can negate. You chain emergency, summon something, remove the airlifter from the field. Airlifter will still resolve, and you got a free body out of it. So incredible card. And if that wasn't enough, you can banish it from the graveyard and reset one of your traps from the grave back to the field. So it gives you a bit of a grind as well. For your other spell cards, they're all one-offs because you're going to be setting them off your Turbulence, Rescue, the Monster Reborn, and Alert, a Rota, or pick up from the grave. But if you have Hydrant, it becomes a Rota and rescues a Monster Reborn. But if you have Hydrant, you can steal from your opponent's graveyard as well, take SPs, that kind of thing. And we also have the 1 Rescue Ace HQ. Again, a lot of people cutting this card. I see why, I really do. I usually side it out in games where I know there isn't going to be much of a grind game. However, this card just keeps you in a grind game. It puts 4 cards back from your graveyard or banish pile into the deck and draws you a card. This switches your Turbulence back on. You can then set another 4. It is vital to the strategy in any sort of grind game. If you know you're not going to be going in a grind game, you can side it out. It does give you 2 normals and it gives you an attack and defense boost, but I still feel that opening this can still be a bit of an annoyance if you're not in a grind game. So if you're going against like a heavy combo deck or something that you know the game isn't going to last long and you won't be needing the second round of interruption, just side it out. And for the traps, 1 Extinguish and the 1 Contain. This doesn't change. There is another trap called Reinforce. Sadly, I don't think it's as good as these 2, nowhere near that. And it's not really worth playing because the 4 that we are going to be sent are going to be generating interruption, and Reinforce sort of gives you protection in that sense. So Extinguish, Contain, Pop, and negate. If you have Hydrant on the field, this is also like a call by, and this is also like a warning point, so it just can't be used as material once that's affected by the negation. So that is the Rescue Ace part of the deck. It's not necessarily a big engine. It all flows into one another. Obviously, opening up the one-offs can make the deck awkward to play with, and inherently it's not the most consistent deck in the world because if we open these one-offs, we're not going to be able to set them from the deck, but we need to play them, essentially. So opening a full hand of one-offs is pretty much a really, really bad hand, but sometimes you can work around it depending on the one-offs that you do open. But in most situations, you want these in the deck pretty much at all times, just so you can set it with Turbulence. So that's the Rescue Ace part of the deck. Let's move on to the expensive stuff. You can do a down payment with this engine now. Unfortunately, we have to play it. Like, there's no workaround. You either play it or you don't, and if you don't play it, you're at a massive disadvantage, especially with this deck. I know this stuff's expensive, I know, guys. Hold on a while more. I hope Konami reprint it soon. I really, really do, so everyone can have access to the engine. But unfortunately for now, we need to play triple Wanted because it gives us access to our Black Witch, and Black Witch gets us access to the 1-for-1 spell, which specials our Hydrant or our Jet Synchron. So that is why this card is so important. You could always do this card in the draw phase. It plays around Droll, and there's no reason not to, really. We're not playing tactics talent, so there's no reason to go to the main phase and try and debate something. Just always do it in the draw phase, play around Droll, and yeah, just be grateful that I told you that so you don't get Drolled anymore on this card. For the other spell, we have 1 Original Sinful Spoil Snake Eye. This is the 1-for-1. You're going to be setting this directly from the deck with your Black Witch on summon when she's summoned, so can't even be Ash. This, of course, tributes and then can be Ash. The tribute is cost. But in some situations, it's alright. Even if it gets Ash, you can still continue playing. Especially if you cleared your board and you have like a Fenrir in hand and you're just trying to bait an Ash or something. Usually you'd Fenrir first for the free discard. But in situations like that, it's nice. Also, if, for example, you relinquished Anima, equip one of their monsters to it, you can then Sinful Spoils, send the equip to the graveyard, and then summon. I've done that before and it was really, really cool. I basically got a free send. For the Black Witches, I apologize for the proxy. 1 is in the post, another quarter century rare. But for now, I'm just going to proxy it. 2 Black Witch, I think this is mandatory now. I was playing 1 and 1 was okay. Now that we have the 1 Airlifter, we have to sort of compensate with consistency in some sort of way. And that I basically, when I removed 2 Airlifters, I put in a second Black Witch and I put in a third Fenrir. So we lost consistency in the Rescue Ace part, essentially, but we boosted consistency in our other engines. So as I was saying, the consistency overall didn't really change, but the actual individual engine consistency did, if that makes any sense. And I still play him, Jet Synchron, just got a beautiful CR. I'm definitely going to be picking that up as soon as I can. As soon as someone pulls them in my area, I'm going to be getting that. So Jet Synchron, I still play this card. This is the 41st card. I play 41, and I can tell you why. Yes, playing 40 will be more consistent in your airlifters, but you'll also consistently see your Jet Synchron more often. I think 41 is perfectly fine. This generates 2 Omni Negates, so I think for adding the extra card in there, the 2 Omni Negates through Baron and Savage Dragon, especially that this deck is still susceptible to evenly matched and board breakers in that sort of way, I think playing the extra card, moving from 40 to 41 is worth it, in my opinion. Obviously, you still open it like I do most of the time, but even in your hand, as a normal summon, it's all right if you already have the Black Witch on the field, because then you can just start doing synchro plays. So that is why I think Jet Synchron is cool. A lot of people don't play it. You don't have to. Saves 2 extra deck space if you don't play it, but I think it's still worth it, in my opinion. Won me a lot of games, this card, so, you know, maybe I'm a bit biased. I've sort of mentioned him before, but we obviously have triple Kashtira Fenrir. I was playing 2, now I'm playing 3. Why is this guy so good? He's basically a boss monster in the form of a free special summon. You just have to have no monsters and he'll special summon himself. So essentially he can be like your first thing in main phase, just special him. He is so good because you can add Fenrir or Fenrir and that generates a free discard for your wanted package. Obviously the Black Witch is going to want to be pitching a card from the field or from the hand to special itself. If you can do from the field, like a field spell or something, go for it. But in most situations, you're going to be doing from the hand because you're not going to be getting rid of the Fenrir on board. And then it's going to summon itself, and then you're going to be able to use its effect and set the 1-for-1. So really, really cool that generates advantage that sort of way. Obviously, it has the targeting banish face down of your opponent's face-up cards, which is incredible as well every single turn or whenever your opponent activates a monster effect. Just really incredible card. I'm really glad Konami didn't touch this. For the hand traps, it's pretty plain and simple still. Triple Ash Blossom. I still think Ash is incredible this format. And I've recently bumped them up to beautiful quarter century rares as well. So I have that little bit of extra joy when I open an Ash Blossom. We also have Triple Effect Veiler. I still think Veiler is good. Maybe play Droll if there's a lot of Vanadium. I have Droll in the side deck, which I will be showing you today as well. I'm still rocking the Effect Veiler. I still think having the Effect Negation is very important in this format. Obviously, Labyrinth didn't get hit. And with Labyrinth not being hit, maybe it's time to play Bell. With Fire King Dogmaticus as well, maybe Bell is the shout. But you can test out Bell. I haven't done a lot of testing with Bell, so for now, I'm leaving in Effect Veilers. And of course, we have Triple Infinite Impermanence. Again, just more negation, just more saying no to the opponent. And against a deck like Vanadium, you need minimum 2 interruptions, in my opinion. 2 may still not even be enough, which is why we got Drolls on the side and the Beeroos, and all the powerful hand traps are in the side. For the generic stuff, Triple Pot of Prosperity card is just an amazing consistency boost to any single deck that can play it. If you can play it, do it. Thankfully, it got a reprint, so it's nowhere near as expensive as when it came out. So hopefully it should be more affordable and all you guys can play it. We have the 1 Reinforcement of the Army. Again, I managed to get a beautiful rarity bump here. And this is essentially your second copy of Airlifter, or if you've opened Airlifter, you can search for Impulse instead, since they are both level 4 warriors. And we have Called by the Grave. You can take this out if you want to play 40. I have no problem in that. I just like Called by the Grave. It's always been good for me. You know, if they try and hand trap you in a Turbulence, for example, they try and Veiler you, you have the Call by, you don't even need to waste, you know, your SP banish or the dodging for the targeting. Or sometimes you just don't open great. You have Turbulence, and this can really help if they try and Veiler it. You have the Call by, you can get Drolled, you can Call by it, you can just Call by random stuff that's useful in the grave as well. And his Tailorments, this is a good card to have as well. So that is the main deck, 41 cards. Let's now move on to the extra deck. Moving on to the extra deck, we're going to start off with a beautiful Access Code Talker. This card is amazing. Rescuers have an amazing advantage in being able to generate just so many bodies, and Access Code now has never been easier to make, and I'll show you why when we get to the Link 3s. Incredible card, clears boards, go for game. That's essentially what it does. I still play the Appaloosa, and it's a Starlight Appaloosa, meaning that most cards can't interact with it. I'm just joking, guys. But I think Appaloosa is still good. There are those situations where you can make a 3-4 negate Appaloosa, and obviously Appaloosa isn't once per turn, but once per chain. If you're going against a monster-heavy deck, Vanadiums, that sort of thing, you can just make an Appo, and they have to sort of burn the Appo. There's no real way of them getting through it, unless they try and just go into battle phase and then kill the Appo, which then means you're not getting OTK'd by Vanadium, which is cool. We have the Selene Queen of the Master Magicians. This was a new addition, and this basically fuels your access code. This revives a spellcaster, which is our Black Witch. Black Witch is a spellcaster, meaning any charmer, you take something from their graveyard, be it Heater or Dark, make Selene, Selene reborn the Black Witch, and then Black Witch and Selene go into access code. Amazing. Can't believe I didn't see this. I saw this off other deck profiles. I'm not going to take credit for this. And I just think it's been a very useful addition to have in the extra deck. For the other Link 3, I think having another generic Link 3 is useful. Obviously, this can be the new Fire Link 3 that's coming out in the next set in a couple of weeks, and it probably will be that. But for now, I'm still rocking the Nightmare Unicorn. I took Heatleo out. I replaced it with Selene because I think they still would do the same thing with the Heatleo. I'm going to be going off the back row. Selene is going to make me an access code easier, and then I can go for the back row anyway. So that is the reasoning why I took out the Heatleo. I still play, though, the beautiful Salmon Great Sunlight Wolf. You don't make him as much anymore. However, when you can make him, when you can loop Ash Blossoms, he just feels unfair. So that's why I play him. We have probably the best Link 2 we've ever had in Yu-Gi-Oh! SP Little Knight, and obviously the IP Masquerena. They sort of go hand in hand. If anyone knows where I can get a Starlight IP or a QCR, let me know so I can have them matching. And then some say I'll do 2 banishes instead of 1 on summon if made with a QCR Starlight IP. But IP Masquerena, again, just make sure you don't use link monsters. Annoying that you can't use links, but I see why they did it. And then SP, obviously, on summon is going to banish a card on the field, of opponent's cards. And then when your opponent activates any card, you can banish 1 card on your field. And potentially another card. You can banish 2 cards from the field. It can be 2 from you, but it has to be 1, at least, from your side of the field. If that made any sense. Now we have, for the other Link 2s, the Dark Charmer Gloomy. Darks are still very prevalent this format, and just taking them for free, making a Selene access code. It's amazing. 1 Heater. Obviously, we can toggle between Fire and Dark in this deck. A Hydrant can be turned into a Link Rebo or an Anima, which is a Dark, which turns on with a second monster, you'll be able to make Dark. Or you can just link up the Hydrant and something else and make a Heater. So there's ways of getting to both Fire and Darks, which is cool. And obviously, they're just good to have. 1 Nightmare Phoenix. Still playing the Phoenix. I still feel it can come up. It doesn't come up a lot. When it does, it's very nice. It doesn't come up a lot, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. But this could be something you can cut in the future. So, there's a really cool, powerful Link 3 coming out. So maybe that's what you cut for the Phoenix or the Unicorn or something. We have the 1 Relinquished Anima. More experienced players, this is never going to come up. But if you go against people that maybe just completely didn't respect the zones, or someone who's maybe new to Yu-Gi-Oh!, you'll be able to abuse the columns. They'll put monsters underneath the monster zone that you can link him to, and you can just punish. He's just a steal, essentially. So, yeah. Against experienced pro players, it's never really going to come up, or they're going to put something in the zones that just can't be targeted. The most important Link 1, of course, is the Link Rebo. This card is essential. We need him because we're going to be equipping him from the graveyard to the field of our Savage for Omni Negate. He is very cool. He has a quick effect in the graveyard. A lot of people don't know. So if you use Hydrant Effect, for example, and they try an Imperm Veiler, you can chain Link Rebo, tribute off your Hydrant, and summon himself from the grave as a quick effect, meaning you essentially have like a little mini emergency there, and you can dodge more targeting. So really, really cool. Obviously, you already have to have him in the grave, so it requires a bit of setup, but a lot of people don't expect that effect, and it obviously has the battle phase effect, meaning if you have him and an SP, they can't be over the SP with 1 monster. They're going to need 2 big monsters to be over the SP, because this can make opponent's monster's attack 0 by tributing itself. For the Synchros, 1 Baron de Fleur. Hopefully we'll be rarity bumping this very soon. It's just an incredible card. You make this with a Turbulence and a Jet Synchron. If you didn't know, Turbulence is level 9, Jet Synchron level 1. You make an Omni Negate with a pop every single turn. The Omni Negate is once while the field, but the pop is every single turn. And then we have the Borrowed Savage. You usually make this with a Black Witch and a Jet Synchron. You can make this with a Fire Engine and a Jet Synchron as well. And it's going to be equipping a Link from the graveyard to the field, and it's going to be gaining that many Omni Negates, but it's once per turn. It also gains an attack boost. And for the last card, we have Super Star Slayer Typhon Sky Crisis. Probably the coolest name on a card I've read in a long time. This just punishes your opponent for playing the game, which is why you're playing it. If your opponent summoned 2 or more monsters from the extra deck in a turn, you can turn any one of your monsters with the highest attack, obviously, into this, and this just is a skill drain for monsters with 3,000 or more attack. can beat over things, and then you can use its effect and put stuff back into the extra deck or your opponent's hand, which I think is very cool. And then we have a super cool token to the extra deck. Don't go anywhere, we got the side deck now. Moving on to the side deck, of course, side decks are region and events sort of specific. I just have a more generic side deck here to show you guys, so let's get on with it. We have triple Nibiru. Nibiru, I've always had a problem with this card, but that's just a me problem in terms of I never draw him on time. I always draw him as a 6th card, or I draw him when my opponent does nothing. But in theory, he is the best hand trap to ever pair with another effect negation hand trap. You let them make the Omni Negate if you have the Veiler or Imperm, and then you let them make the full board, and then you Nibiru, they negate, and then you negate with a Veiler Imperm, and they eat the entire Nibiru, and basically you can win the game from there. So that is why I like Nibiru in theory. We have double Droll. Why not 3 Droll? Because I'm struggling for space in the side. I have considered cutting the next card down to 1 to play the 3rd Droll, because 3rd Droll is essential in the Vanadium matchup. You just need to see Droll, and playing 2 is obviously going to decrease the chances of that happening. We have 2 Impulse. I might just play 1 and then put the Droll to 3. I think that's actually what I might do. But in theory, this is just another way to start your engine turn 0, which is why I have it in. That's it for the monsters. We now have the spells, double, triple tactics, thrust. Would I play 3? Probably not. I think 2's more than enough. This just becomes another copy of any one of your power spells or traps. If your opponent does anything during your turn, a monster during your turn, during any phase, unlike triple tactics talents, which is really cool. We have the double Cosmic Cyclone. Might change these to Lightning Storm, so they work more with synergy in triple tactics thrust. But in a back row matchup, going first, you can side in Cosmics, and then you can interrupt them. Lightning Storm's a bit more tricky to work around. We also have the 1 Herald of the Abyss. This is still for the Pearly matchup. If Pearlies don't see much representation anymore, obviously after the ban list, you can cut this. We have space for something else. We have the 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. Again, just punish the back row matchups as much as you can, because Labyrinth is a very scary deck. Evenly, just 1, because this works with Thrust. Again, back row or combo decks. This has both. And I still run the D-Baz. I still think D-Baz is an incredible card, to be honest. So that is why I play it. I hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile, and I did still show you that Rescue Ace is still the deck to beat this format. Obviously, we're going to be getting cards like Bonfire, and I'm sure another Rescue Ace variant will appear with more Evil Eyes, and it'll just be absolutely insane and blow everything else out the water. But for now, I do believe that this is one of the best, if not the best variant to be playing of Rescue Ace. And that's because I think the Jet Synchron package, a lot of people don't play it. I just really think it adds a lot to the deck, a deck like this anyway. So I'm Rogue here. Remember, if you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, enter that giveaway, and I'll see you all on the next video.
It's time! Let's go!